take the tennis balls at the cheeks on either side of the sacrum. The placement is, if you take the thighs and you drain them down, they should drain into the balls. If you set them and then decide later, you know, this one needs to move just a little bit, feel free, move it as you get started, because you might not have the exact placement. And then when you start moving, you feel where you need to be. Track the hips, knees, ankles, and just start. Take a deep breath. We're going to let if it's comfortable for you to let the knees open, let them open. If not, just keep them this way. And then we're just going to start with pelvic floor engagement. So you're going to feel the pelvic floor draws up and in, anal sphincter, urethral sphincter, small, medium, large contraction, let go, and feel the glutes relax. So that when the pelvic floor engages and draws up, it starts like a bowl sort of hanging, and then it pulls up like a parachute. So when you engage that small, medium, large contraction, the balls are there so that you don't feel your gluteus maximus tension at the same time. That's relax, release. Isolating just the pelvic floor, small, medium, large contraction, relax. And then we're going to take a small, medium, large contraction, let go, catch, let go, catch, let go. So it doesn't have the same intensity on the way out. It's more like it releases, then you got to stop it, releases, stops. Small, medium, large contraction, let go, catch, let go, catch, let go, keeping the glutes out of it. One more time. Small, medium, large contraction, let go, catch, let go, catch, let go without any tension of the glutes. And now hopefully your hips feel nice and open as well. We're going to take the knees, point them to the ceiling, taking your hands at the lower abdomen. We're going to breathe from the chest, more diaphragm area here, holding the abdomen. And as you exhale, feel the pelvic floor draws up and the waist sinking down. Keep the pelvic floor contraction, breathe in. And pelvic floor contracts more, navel sinks more. One more time. Relax the whole thing. So you should feel the pelvic floor muscles are coming up this way, and then the transversus abdominis feels like it's dropping down this way. So they're going to have a feeling of meeting. So we'll take that small contraction, breathe in, holding the abdomen, exhale, sink. Medium contraction, breathe in. Breath is at the chest, diaphragm area, not the lower abdomen. Sink, deeper contraction through the transversus abdominis. One more time. Large contraction. And relax. So it should feel, instead of you pushing the abdominal wall down, it's almost like the abdominal contents are drawing the abdominal wall down toward them. So you'll feel the navel pulls to the spine. And then we're going to take that feeling. So this is the neutral. You have the hip bones, the pubic bone, they're level with the floor. Now, if we tip and go into a flat back, then pubic bone is higher than the hip bone. So we're at 12 o'clock. Navel is 12, pubic bone is 6. So in this position now, we're going to feel the thumb sink, breathe in, pelvic floor contraction. And then the sink happens a little more at the thumbs when you're in the flat back. Medium contraction, still holding. Let the air out slowly, then your thumbs can sink. If you let it out too quickly, it'll harden and you won't feel that drawing down sensation. Large contraction. Breath in the chest. So we're going to go to the neutral pelvis. Inhale while the rib cage remains on the mat. Exhale, shift flat back, tucking the pelvis. Pelvic floor is going to contract the whole time. Inhale. Exhale, deepen where the thumbs were, sinking. Start to send the sit bones toward the calves, creating length at the waist in the back. So it's not a pushing down, it's a lengthening sensation, breathing in. So the more concave the belly is in the front, the more convex and scooped it is into the back. So at the waist, the quadratus lumborum muscles across this tract should feel like they get longer. And then the ribs narrow and squeeze around the front. Release, inhale, one more. And then flat back. So the abdominals control the imprint into the flat back, and the multifidus muscles, you'll find that the low back muscles activate to take you to the neutral position. Now, when we actually move the pelvis to 3 and 9, there's this rotational movement that's going to occur like this. And so that rotation is going to happen at the lumbar spine. So if you put your fingers on the inside of your hip bones and we exhale and sink the left one into 3 o'clock, so 12 o'clock being our navel, the clock is like somebody else is looking down at us. We'll feel that sink on the fingers of the left side. There's a twist in the low back. So you'll feel the back muscles give it a little shove, and the abdominal muscles give it that sink, and you'll feel the teeter-totter of the left kid is heavier now. Then we're going to level them out, and then sink the right one down into the right ball. If you don't have a ball, you're just dropping into the mat. Level back up, both hip bones the same. Neutral pelvis, exhale, sink left. Make sure that twist happens at the low back, the knees don't change. Center inhale. Exhale, 9 o'clock, right side drop. When you exhale, because you're exhaling slowly out the mouth, you should feel your fingers sink into the inside of the hip bone, and you sink into the fleshy area almost like you're in quicksand, and you're going to feel your fingernails sink down and in. Inhale, center, pelvic floor engaging. Exhale, 3 o'clock. Inhale, center. Exhale, 9 o'clock to the right. And then now we're going to do 2 and 8. So 2 o'clock is going to be the left waist, and then 8 o'clock is going to be toward this crease at the hip. So if we tuck the pelvis to get to 2 o'clock, you're going to feel a little bit more of the weight toward the left waist, off center from the navel to the left. And then we'll level off. And then as you go to 8 o'clock, it's like an X from your left shoulder to your right sit bone. And you're going to reach the pelvis into that crease at the hip, and it'll sink. If you had your fingers right here, you relax and let them sink to the ball. Your hands coming to 2 over here, you're going to exhale and sink using the abdominal muscles. Inhale the transition, and then exhale to 8 o'clock and feel the multifidus muscles, low back, help give it that little shove over there, except for your ribs don't come off. Back to the center, inhale, exhale, pelvic floor, lower abs engage, 2 o'clock. Inhale, rocking, 8 o'clock, reaching. Now 10 and 4 is the opposite. So we'll take the 10 o'clock abdominals working. You'll feel that imprint's a little off center to the right. So if you didn't have the balls, you'd be pressing that waist in, and you feel it a little more weighted, a few inches off the umbilicus to the right. And then shifting over to 4 o'clock. Feel from the right shoulder to the left sit bone, lengthening, relaxing on the balls, glutes relaxed. Inhale in the center, exhalation, pelvic floor, sinking the breath, 8 counts out the mouth, dropping into 10. Inhale through the nose, transition using the multifidus, low back, pelvic floor still engaged. Exhalation into 4 o'clock. And your fingers, just like the balls in the back are giving you a little bit more awareness, your fingers in the front give you a little more awareness. Because if you're clenching, then you're letting the air out too quickly. It should feel a feeling of gradually relaxing, dropping, 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 dropping back through the center. And one more, 10 o'clock. Then we're going to take a full circle, flat back, 12 o'clock, abs took you there. Then 1 o'clock, left, abs taking you there. 2 o'clock, abs taking you there. Now, as you get to 3, we're back at the teeter-totter, and there's more lumbar involvement in the low back. 4 o'clock, diagonal. 5, coming toward the tailbone. 6, you're at the tailbone. 7, reaching diagonally right. 8, more weighted on the right ball. 9, teeter-totter right. 10, abs engage, coming around. 11 and 12, then reverse. So it's like a plate that is spinning. 12, 11, 10, curve in the back. 9, 8, 7, 6, diagonal left. 5, left ball. 4, teeter-totter. 3, flat back, abs engaging. 2, 1. Then we're going to go clockwise. So if the center of the sacrum is the North Pole, we're drawing around the equator, around the world, keeping the rib cage on and isolating that it's either the low back muscles or the abdominals taking that circle. And it's subtle. It's not this big circle, because I could take a big circle like this, but I'm pushing on my feet if I do that. So we want to isolate that the core muscles are sending you around, either the abdominals in the front, multifidus in the back. And then come back into your neutral pelvis, rib cages weighted. As you exhale, the sternum lowers, the ribs narrow, and you'll feel that the sit bones reach to the heels. So there's a sense of length in this zone. So the diaphragm is here, pelvic floor is at the base. So this pulls as far as possible, creating traction for the lumbar discs. So instead of being squished marshmallows, they're nice and fluffy. And we're going to keep that space as we open the left knee. So you're going to feel that the right side, it's that feeling of the 9 o'clock where you are planting. You can see my knee opening the mirror and then coming back, return. Then we're going to think 3 o'clock, right knee opens, and then coming back. So we're going to exhale so that we get the abdominal involvement on that right side, sitting on the right ball. Left leg relaxes, glutes open, or not, knee opens, glutes relax, coming back. And then we're going to plant 3 o'clock using that quicksand feeling of the fingers sinking in, the teeter totter. And that way the pelvis is doing this counterbalance. So as I go to open the left knee, I have to pull the pelvis this way to counterbalance the weight of the knee opening. And then I come back, and then I have to counterbalance the hips. My hands are my hips, and then shift this way. So ultimately, it looks like it's staying in place, but you're having to do that counterbalance to get that motion. Now we're going to slide the left leg long, plant the ribs, sit on both balls, and drag the knee back. Now plant left, right knee opens, sliding out, parallel. It's not the foot that brings you back, it's the chest pressing, sitting on both balls, pelvic floor drawing up and in. And left open, exhale, press imprint, inhale. 3 o'clock, exhale, holding the ribs and the left pelvis weighted, and return one more time. Ribs plant, pelvis plant, slide away. So it creates a really nice, juicy, relaxed hip joint when you hold core stabilization through the torso and the pelvis. And then the hip just is nice and loose. There's no tension. Changing sides, we're going to slide the left out first, open, and then drag it back in. Alternating sides. Exhale, left slide, open. Inhale, return. Right side, exhalation. The exhalation starts with the ribs pushing down. And then one more set. So as you're doing that, you want to keep this other knee completely pointed to the ceiling. It doesn't change. Otherwise, you're countering with the weight of the leg, not using the core muscles. And then finally, both open, slide away, parallel, rib cage, pelvis, drag back. 3 sets. Open, slide, and inhale back. Last one. Exhale, press the ribs, pelvic floor, engaging, lower abs engaging, and then reverse. We're going to slide away, open, and stand the feet. Slide, open. Ribs must stay weighted or else you're going to be using your neck. And okie dokie. Here's the moment you've been waiting for. Say goodbye, tennis balls.